Morning, guys. I literally just woke up, but I did a quick meditation and wanted to come out here to check on my grass seed because I planted grass the other day in the garden because it was just like, I'll insert a picture here, it was so full of weeds and it just looked horrible. So Mike and I asked our landlord to come and like just get rid of all of the weeds. So they came and they weed whacked, and then we dug up all of the roots and stuff. And Mike and I both love gardening. It's very like therapeutic for us. So yeah, excuse my groggy puffiness and this lighting and everything, but I wanted to say good morning. Good morning again. Thought I'd just come sip my coffee while I chat with you guys. Thank you guys for watching today and for joining me. I just wanted to share my morning routine and what I do to be mindful in the mornings. Today was definitely more of a slow morning. I don't really have a lot of work to do today. Client-wise, a lot of clients, because it's the summer, are on vacation this week, and one's leaving. So things have just been a lot slower, which is really nice because it's been super hot, and I've been able to plan some beach days with my mom and my sister and alone. Mike and I worked on the garden. As you can see, one of his cousins got married last weekend, so it's just been super nice to kind of slow down a little bit, especially when it's so hot outside. So I know that I showed you a bunch of clips of what I did, but to kind of explain why, I think it's really important to understand like why things are important, or why maybe you should consider adding them to your routine, or just understand generally like if you already are doing these things, like why they might be helpful to kind of remind you. I know it's personally really helpful to hear all of the benefits because it helps me to keep up with things. But starting from the beginning, when I first wake up, sometimes I'll get up and go to the bathroom and like do my skincare so that it can sink in while I do my meditation. But sometimes while I'm just still in that nice like sleepy subconscious state, I will put on a meditation and do that first thing. And I find that that consistently really helps me to just like set the tone for the day and help me to be super relaxed and just very mindful throughout the day. And then if things happen that are unexpected or not so great, I'm much more resilient and don't mind so much, or have the ability to kind of work through them rather than like having them make me upset for whatever reason or things like that. So that's why I really love to prioritize meditation, and doing it in the morning when you're in that sleepy state really helps if you are working through things. Like the meditations that I do help to kind of like reprogram inner child and work through trauma or anything that's coming up that's kind of making you anxious or stressed. So yeah, those are the kinds of things that I like to do in the morning, those kinds of meditations, because it makes me feel like I'm working on my mental health actively. So it feels really good to get that knocked out in the morning. The next thing that I really like to do is get outside, and so that's been really easy with the grass. I feel like a dad with his lawn, honestly. I just go out there and I water every morning. We just planted it this past weekend. So yesterday it rained a lot, but I still got up and went outside and checked on it and just got outside. I think it's really important to get up and get outside early in the morning to wake your body up and kind of reinforce your circadian rhythm. And even if the sun isn't outside, it's still emitting the most red light at the earliest in the morning when it first rises. So getting up, if you can't get up with the sunrise, I know it's really hard, it's super early in the summer. So just getting outside early in the day for a couple of minutes and feeling the fresh air and feeling the sun on your skin is really helpful to your body and getting it started in the morning and keeping you awake, and then also reminding it that after a certain amount of time, like when the sun starts to go down, that it needs to start producing melatonin, will help you fall asleep more easily. Then I usually come in and get my cup of coffee started. It definitely doesn't need to steep as long as it did this morning. I didn't come back to it until after my workout, but it got a chance to cool down, so oh well. Sometimes that's all I'll do in the morning is the meditation and the coffee, or sometimes I'll take a break from meditations and just do the workout. It really depends on the morning. This is definitely not my usual morning, I will say, and that's totally fine. I just try to prioritize these certain things, and then I'll even add in more on top of this. Like sometimes I'll read for a little bit and stay off my phone if I can. Sometimes I'll just jump into work. Sometimes it's one of those days and I'm feeling a little more anxious, and getting an hour or two of work done in the morning is actually really helpful for me. I know that I try not to do that all of the time because that can definitely reinforce my tendency to be a workaholic. So having this slow morning routine really helps balance that. But sometimes I will say, if I have a lot going on, just getting some things done helps me to be more present when I'm eating, and that's really important to me because if you're new here, I have Crohn's. So eating really slowly and mindfully, as I will be in a minute after I talk to you guys, is super helpful with digestion. Even if you don't have Crohn's, it may not be as important, but for anyone without Crohn's, but I know for me personally, when I eat really quickly and I'm not in that mindful state, or I'm anxious to get my day started and I'm trying to just eat something, it can really hurt when it digests later, and I just feel super uncomfortable and bloated. So something that you can do to kind of help with bloating and discomfort and bowel irregularity is to eat very slowly and mindfully. And if you are trying to get back on track with bowel movements, is to not watch anything or do anything while eating, and to just think about how you made your food and how grateful you are for your food. Practicing gratitude while eating is a really amazing thing to do while eating. So yeah, that's what I'll try to do, is do anything that stresses me out before I eat. However, I know that that's not always possible. Eating something is very important, so just doing the best you can. But that's a couple of tips to kind of help you out if you're experiencing any of those things. Then I did my workout, and I actually found that working out in the morning is a lot nicer for me. It's actually a lot harder to do than if I go through my workday and then go to the gym with Mike, which I'll sometimes do. Sometimes I'll do both, honestly. I don't do a really hard workout no matter what. Sometimes I really enjoy weightlifting in the winter, I found, but it also really makes me slayish, and I don't feel as motivated to do it in the summer. I don't feel as motivated to do anything in the summer, honestly, because I find that I eat less when I'm quite warm. And I would just like to note that here it sounds like I mean that I feel like I need to work out more the more that I eat, but that's not what I meant. I just meant that when I'm eating less in the summer because it's warm outside, That's perfectly natural, and it also just means that I have less energy to work out. I also feel like because I'm outside more often and doing more things like going to the beach and going swimming, it just means that I overall have less desire to go to the gym or spend time doing a YouTube workout. But in the winter, when I'm not doing as much of those activities and I'm sitting inside and I'm eating more hearty meals, I have more energy to go out and do heavy weightlifting workouts and things like that. So just know that just because you may eat more one day, it doesn't mean that you have to work out. That is not what I mean at all. I also sweat a lot in general, so I don't really want to move my body too much, but a nice like gentle Pilates workout or the Chloe Teen workouts is really nice, followed by a cold shower and dry brushing for lymphatic drainage and good circulation. I've also found that dry brushing really helps with scars. So I've been doing it on my face very gently, but it's been helping a lot with my acne scars. I also had a scar on my wrist that completely disappeared after a few weeks of dry brushing consistently. So it takes 2 seconds to add it into my routine. So that's what I've been doing. Another thing to note when dry brushing is to always brush towards your heart. So I start with my feet and then my legs, work up, and then do my arms down across my chest to my heart. And so that helps to move your lymph fluid towards your heart, which kind of processes it throughout the body. I don't know the exact science of it, I will admit, but I do know that it is really, really good for circulation. So that's why you want to brush it towards your heart. So thank you guys so much for watching again. I hope you enjoyed this video and learned a few ways that you could incorporate wellness into your morning routine. Just remember that any amount of being mindful in the morning is good, and you don't have to do all of that. I definitely don't do it every single day. I would say maybe I do it once or twice a week, like this full morning routine. But I do try to incorporate at least meditation into my mornings, which is nice and easy when I wake up and maybe my alarm hasn't gone off yet, and so I just put it on and I lay there and try to wake up slowly and mindfully, and it's really amazing. So yeah, even if you're just making your cup of coffee in the morning, taking a few 3 deep belly breaths while you're waiting for it to steep or you're putting it together is perfect. And just know that you're doing your best and you're doing amazing. Thank you so much for joining me here today. Please make sure to like and subscribe to my channel if it feels good to you to do that. And join me here. You can also follow along on my Instagram. I would really appreciate it. And love to see you around, have you around. So I hope you have a great week, and thank you for watching.